Okay, I'm back and I've dried my gesso off. It's all nice and dry. And look, I've got a clean board. So, which I should have done in the beginning. It was just lax, just laziness. So what I'm going to do now is use distress sprays. And I've got peeled paint and picked raspberry. And I've also got this Cosmic Shimmer one, which is called something Lucky Lavender or something like that. I can't remember what it's called now. I really don't know, but it's a kind of lavendery sort of colour. And I want, this is the napkin that I want to use, and I think this is in keeping with Edith, and it's that colour that I sort of want. So the pink is too pink, the lavender is too lavender, so I'm going to mix these two together, and I think we get more or less the colour that we're after. But we'll start with the green anyway. Now this stuff is very concentrated. Be careful where you spray it. It really will colour things quite dramatically. That's probably more than enough. So I'm just going to use my brush that I was using to gesso. It's not the perfect thing. I should have cleaned the water out. And add water to that. That's fine. It's lovely. And just take your paper and plop it in, just so it picks up some of that colour, like that. Same on the other side. And this does get your hands really, really dirty. So if you're of a fussy persuasion, I shouldn't say that, if you care about what your hands look like, then use gloves. So that's the coffee stained one. This is the white one. I'm running out of dye. There we are. Oh, here's Mr. F with some clean water. What a good lad. Thank you, my love. Big pot of clean water. I think I'm just going to have to make some more green up. It's just a bit scant. So let's add some water to that. There we go. Yeah, that's nice. Now we've really got green going on, which is lovely. Let's add some more to this page as well. And I know it looks quite a threatening sort of green at this stage, but like watercolour paints, if you're familiar with them, when it dries much, much lighter. So I don't really want to waste any of this green, so I'm going to try and suck it all up. There we are. Right, so let's just clean that green away. See, look at all that I had. And I'm just going to dot off the real excess. There isn't much real excess, to be fair. Just to make drying it a little bit less time consuming. Okay, so I'm going to dry that off. You want to make sure one layer is dry before you start on the next. So I'll see you in a sec. Right, so there we are. I've dried both of those completely. And I think already at this stage you can see, you can see the difference between the... Actually, that light is so bright it's hard to see. Let me just switch that light off. Is that any better? No, not really. I don't know where to get this. There, perhaps. You can see that the coffee stained one is darker. Right, I've asked Mr. F if you'd just have a look at the lighting and see if we could change it so as you can see it's slightly better, and I think that's a wee bit better. This is the coffee stained paper and you can see it's darker. This is the original white paper. So there is a difference, and out of the two I really like this. It's much more interesting. It's got It's not liking that very much. It's got a lot of interesting marks that we've created with the gesso. They wouldn't have been there otherwise. So now it's time to move on to the next colour for the spray, and that's the one that I told you we're going to mix. We're going to mix up picked raspberry with this Cosmic Shimmer lavender colour. Maybe slightly more lavender than pink. And just some water, mix them up. See if you've got the colour that you want. Maybe slightly more pink. Just a touch. That's the thing about mixing your own colour. You can carry on till you've actually got the colour that you want. I think that's quite nice. It's very purpley, but quite nice. Yeah, there's quite a lot of blue in that, so that's, yeah, that's a nice colour. Okay, let's add some water because that's very concentrated. There we go. Right, so now just put this on our paper just the way that we put the green on, exactly the same way. Dip it down into it. Tap it, so, oh, look at that, it's gorgeous. Just check and make sure you've got some sort of around the place, really. So I'm just going to take my kitchen towel and just dab off some of the really heavy bits. This side's beautiful. It's really gorgeous. And just lay that up there to dry while I do this other one. It's a very, really nice colour. So I don't really want to waste any, so I'm trying to get every last bit that I can. There we are, lovely. So I'll just wipe that up off there. Put this down, see if there's any bits I need to just pick up. No, that's lovely. And this one, it's a bit heavier, I think. So just dab a bit more on that one. That's lovely. You can see the green coming through. It's really, really nice. So I'm just going to dry those again, and we'll see where we're up to. Okay, so I've dried these now, and actually they're lovely. There's some gorgeous marks on them where we've applied the gesso, but I've overdone the lavender colour, the purpley colour. So I'm going to go back to the green and just add a little bit more green because it's got lost somewhere on the way. So a bit of water to that. I might have to do 2 lots, but we'll see. So I just want bits of green. I don't want it to be all purple. That's looking better. So I'm picking out the bits that are lighter to apply my green to. There. Just so we get a nice mix of the 2 colours. That's better. Yep. I overdid the purple. Not the first time in my life that I've overdone purple. In the 70s, I was a teenager actually in the 70s. I was born in 1960. So in the 70s, the sort of the colours were purple and orange, over here at any rate, I don't know what you had in the States. Similar, I imagine. We seem to follow each other. So all my clothes. And Crimpoline. Does anybody remember Crimpoline? Crimpoline. I don't know if it was called Crimpoline in the States. I mean, now it's just such a horrendous fabric. It's totally man-made. If you were sewing with it, you could hardly bend it to make a hem, to be honest. It wasn't that it was stiff. It just, you know how cotton, you bend it and you crease it and it stays there. Not so with Crimpoline. It's like got a life of its own. And I had a brown Crimpoline pinafore. Sounds great, doesn't it? Right, I've dried those and I've dried them absolutely thoroughly. And I'm really glad we went back and put some more of that peeled paint on it. It's a lovely colour, that, actually. I really like it. So these are properly dry. And this is the white one on this side. This is the one that was coffee stained. Yeah, there might be the slightest bit of difference. Where there's no gesso, it is a bit darker, I suppose. Yeah, but not enough to make me want to nip out and coffee stain all my paper before I do this technique. You might like it, and you know, it's up to you what you fancy. As I say, the bits where there's no gesso, it's definitely darker, definitely, than this one. I quite like this one though. So there you go. So the next thing I'm going to do is select my best side. Is it to my left side or my right side? I'm actually turning my head, so thinking that you can see, which obviously you can't. I think there, and I think yeah, that's fine. Right. So the napkin that I have decided to use is this one, and it came in a pack of 20 from, I don't think it's telling me where they're from. It would have been one of the supermarkets, I suspect. No, just says made in the EU, 20 paper napkins, 33 by 33 centimetres. I would reckon I got them from a supermarket. And I'm going to go for the purpley bits and the leaves. So there's a leaf there, so let's tear that out. And I prefer to do my tearing out while there's still 3 layers of the napkin. I just find it easier. And I know there are various ways of tearing this out. You can go around it with a wet brush and then pull it apart. Pulls apart very easily. I just find this kind of quite satisfying, so I'm all right doing this. There's a nice purple flower there. I want as little really of the background as I can, because this background actually isn't white. It's a winter white, it's an off-white, and I don't want it to stand out on my writing paper. So I'm trying to take as little as I can of the background. I've got a bit of surplus going on here. And this is an edge piece, so it's got a straight line, and I really, really don't want a straight line. Your eye just picks up straight lines, it's amazing. And so there's that. What else can I have? There's this one down here. This is a nice one. Oh, and it's right next door to that leaf. I'm going to have that leaf at the same time, I think. Oh, and it's also next door to this one, which is also nice. So I'm going to have a big chunk out of here now. And then I'll split them once I've got them all out. Oh, and that one as well. Never mind. Let's do these ones, see where we get to. I hope wherever you are in the world you can get decent napkins. It's it should be part of everybody's stash, napkins. And trust me, I have a good stash of napkins. Yeah, I was telling you about crimpline. It apparently was made in the UK, so I don't know if it ever made it to you American folk or Australian folk. But if it didn't, be thankful. It was a horrendous thing. I'm saying that you couldn't hem it because it wouldn't bend. I mean, you could hem it, but actually it was so man-made that you could probably just have got away with cutting it. It would never have unravelled because it had no weave whatsoever. It's hideous, horrible thing. Right, so what I'll take the backs off these now. Just leave me with the one little front layer, the thin layer at the front. Then we'll make some sort of pattern up with them. And I've also got some Tim Holtz wildflower stamps. They sort of complement the wildflower die sets that I know a lot of us have. They aren't exact, so don't get them thinking that you can stamp behind and then put a die in front and they will be identical. They're not. I thought that they would be identical, and I had that in my mind that that's what I wanted to do, but no. It's almost like they're reversed, actually, to be honest. Right, how about having that there, that there. Don't know if I need all of them. That there. Maybe 2 leaves together at the top. And that down there. That's quite pretty. Would that be prettier? The other one? Honestly, give me a choice between 2 things and I'll prevaricate forever. I think that's nice. I like that. So we'll leave this for the other page. But behind all that, I want to put one of my wildflower stamps. So this is them. This is what they look like. They're Stampers Anonymous Tim Holtz wildflowers. Some you'll see I haven't even used yet. I might go for that one. No, this one actually, I think. Yeah, I'll go for that. It's got a lot of detail at the top, which is where I wanted. And I'm going to use, this is Versa Magic Perfect Plumeria. Okay? I didn't buy it. It came in one of these job lots that Mr. F provides me with. But I think it's the perfect colour for this. I hope so anyway. I'm just going to ink this and stamp it off once onto something, anything that I have. Have I got anything to stamp it off on? Bit of rough paper. This'll do. Oops, there goes my arrangement. Right, so that's ink. Let's see what this looks like when it's stamped out. I'll just do it again. I'm not sure I've ever used this, so this is kind of like the first time it's been inked up. Yeah, that's nice. Nice colour, I think. Yep. So let's ink that up again, this time in anger, because we're going to use it. I don't think I need more than 1 stamp, but we'll see. I'm not sure how much ink this pad's got in it either, for that matter. Like I say, I didn't buy it new. So let's put that just up a little bit, just there. Oh, that's lovely. It's lovely. I love it. I'll put the lid on that while I work out if I need to put more than one stamp. So this is how we had it, I think, something like this anyway. And that in there, and this one going up there. I could have another stamp here, but then we're kind of defeated. I mean, you could write over that, you definitely could, but it is, you know, we want it to be writing paper at the end of the day, so do want some space to write on, and I do quite like that arrangement. So we'll go with that. We'll call that one What's Happening with That. I'm going to stick these on with Ranger Distress Collage Medium in matte. It is my flavour of the day with regards to decoupage gels. I just love it. It does the job it's supposed to do without any fuss. So I'm just going to remove these two front ones and get those stuck down there. So you don't need very much of this, but the same rule applies. Go from the centre out. You don't want any wrinkles if you can possibly avoid it. And minimal amount of glue is always good. Minimal, but you do need some. There on there really nicely, but I'm just going to get my bit of cling film and just go over them, press them down firmly, not too firmly. They still will tear at this stage if you're too rough with them, even through cling film. I have succeeded in doing that on occasions, and that's going to go down there, and this comes off to the side. Oh, this is so pretty. So I'm going to stick that down first because it's just slightly underneath the other one. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Come on. Oh, I've still got a bit stuck under that. Oh, I think I'm going to have to call it a day with that one. Just caught it. Yeah, I've just torn it now. So that's not helpful, is it? So which bit was that? Is there another bit? Oh, it's right in the middle. That's what can happen with decoupage. It, you know, it really can. It's very, very fragile stuff. So take your time. It's worth it. It's worth taking your time. There we are. Hooray, there was another bit. So I'm going to be super gentle this time. Put that down there. Like that. Right. From the centre, working out. I think actually it's stuck on my finger because I could feel that one trying to stick as well. So there we are. A bit of cling film. Get it nicely smoothed out. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. And then just this last one to go on. Then into the corner there. There we are. So there we are, that's that piece. And I think that's the only decoupage I'm going to put on there. I have other sets that I've made. I have put something up in this corner, but I don't actually think it needs it. I like that. And I'm going to do similar with the other one. I'll set that aside to dry. And here's our other piece. This was the white piece. So am I going to use the same stamp, or am I going to use something different? I'm going to use something different just because I've got the stamps and I can. So I'm going to use that one. But I'm going to use the same colour ink because I quite like... No, actually, I'll use purple. I've got some purple archival ink here. Dusty Concord, it's called, actually, whatever that might mean. So I'll ink this one up. I know this is a new ink pad, so it's inking it up really nicely. It's probably going to be a darker print, actually, this one, because there's more ink around. Let's just try it out first. Wow, there is more ink around. That one's kind of more ethereal, isn't it? I wonder if you can get a second shadow stamp off that. Yeah, I like the shadow stamp. Actually, I like the idea of the two of them. The shadow and then, yeah, let's try that, shall we? What have we got to lose at the end of the day? We're just playing. So I'll ink this up with, you know, a fair bit of ink. Well, it'll only take what it'll take, you know, you can't really overload. So there we are. So I'm going to put this on, and then quickly I'm going to put a shadow stamp on. I'm going to put that there right at the edge. And then I'm going to lift it and put a shadow stamp on. Yeah, I like that. That's nice. Because you don't have to do that. This is me playing. You don't have to do any of that. And take that off there and put it on there so I have my full set, because you know what I'm like. Things get put places and never see the light of day again. And I'm actually even going to put them away. Incredible. Right, that is gorgeous. I really love that actually just on its own, but I am going to put some napkin on it because I love that too. So what have we got? Well, we've got this little one here. Might go for that one actually. No, I've got that on the other one. Okay, we'll go for this because it's accessible. It's near the edge. And I think at some stage, I know that I started to make this because I had an envelope, right? I know that. But I'm thinking at some stage that I might do an envelope to actually go in the same manner, you know, so it'll really be a proper set. That looks quite red next to that purple, to be fair. I might have to try and seek some more really purpley bits out. This is quite purpley. I'm going to take the leaf next to it as well. I'm just going to tear them apart because I doubt I'm going to want them in that configuration. Get rid of some of that background. See if that looks a bit better. Yeah, that's more purple, isn't it? It fits in a bit better. And a bit of a leaf. What else have we got that's purpley on here? That one, that's the same as the one we've got. That one. That's purple, that one there. Let's have that one. Just rip that one. So I hope this is a technique that you would consider using. I know it's possibly a bit more sort of artsy than we normally do. We're normally all about the precision. But this is a nice addition to a journal, I think. A bit of you in a journal. So let's separate that leaf from that flower. And get rid of a bit of that background. Right, let's have a look then, see what we've got here. So I've got that and that and that. A little leaf maybe coming out there. Yeah, that looks nice to me. Let's go for that then. Got a bit of blue on the side there, which I can live without, I think. It's amazing actually when you look at napkins. They sometimes don't speak to you of what they really are. You know, you just look at them and think, oh yeah, that's all right. But when you get them actually ripped up into the fundamental elements, some of them are really, really handy to have. Like when I looked at this first off this morning, it was not the colours that I thought I needed. I just thought I quite liked the napkin, so I'd bring it downstairs and have a look. But it turns out it's exactly what I want. I think that's fine like that. Okay, so let's get that stuck on. Maybe got a bit of excess water going on in here. Always put your decoupage on from the centre to the edges. That way then you can chase any would-be air bubbles out to the edge, or wrinkles for that matter. If I could, no, I'll stick with what I had. I knew that worked. Don't get fancy at this stage. And there we go, that's the second one done with the nice stamp behind. It's really nice, that one actually. So I'm just going to take my cling film and just make sure that all is flat as flat can be. Use a bit that's not too sticky, I don't want it to pull it up. So just smooth it out. You can be quite forceful, but don't be brutal. Don't be brutal on your tissue. And pull it off at a low angle like that, so you don't pull it off. So there we go, that's lovely. Right, all that remains now is for me to dry those off thoroughly, or leave them overnight if you can. But I'm going to dry them and then I'll show you what I do to finish them. And there we go, we've got some writing papers. Right, so there's my 3 pieces of writing paper that I've done, the one that I did this morning. I've also got 2 blank pieces as well that I could decorate if I feel like it. I mean, they're really nice actually, those ones. Oh, the sun's decided to come out now, you can't see. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim round if there's any bits that are sticking out over the edge. Yeah, that's great, thank you. Let's see, generally we're so pleased to see the sun. I'm going to round the corners of this one, I think. Find my corner rounder. Just makes it look a bit more finished. And then what I do, I've already done it on that one, is you can just feel the texture of the decoupage. There's not much texture to it, in fairness, but a little bit. It feels like it's decoupage, and I don't want that. I want it to feel like it's part of the paper, just there all the time. So I'm going to use a sanding pad, and this is really fine grit. It's not, it's maybe the, you know, when you get a nail file and it's got a rough side and a smooth side, might be about the smooth side of that. So you could probably use a nail file. And I just use it in circular motions, very lightly, very light pressure. And it's best if you leave this overnight to dry before you do this. But of course I'm not. Although it is, you know, thoroughly dried. And you just rub over it, and it just takes that feeling of decoupage away. And if you've been unlucky enough to have some wrinkles in your decoupage, it takes them off too. So it's a win-win. Yeah, that's it. It just feels the same as the paper now. It's a nice feeling. And same with this one. Yeah, that's nice. So there we are, our 3 pieces of writing paper. This was the one that was already coffee stained, and you can see it's darker. And these 2 are the ones that were done on the white lined paper. I don't have a real preference. There is a bit of a difference. These ones are lighter, just. But I like all of them. They're all nice, and they're all very usable. And I love this shadow stamp there. I think if I was doing it again, I'd move it slightly further away from that. But even so, I really like the overall finished effect. So thanks for joining me. We'll be back again very, very soon when we will be looking at how I made this little folio. It's fairly simple. This is a stamp that I painted in and then embossed. So I'm not sure if you can see it's really shiny, it's lovely. And just added a little tag in behind it from Edith, bit of lace, etc. And on here, Edith image and a big tag in the back. And I've done the same there. I've used 2 die cuts, cut them out, painted them and embossed them so they're nice and shiny onto this lovely Edith iris pattern. Little tag there that says Chaffinch, and that just goes in the back. And that's as far as I've got with that, but I will catch you up with that very soon so we can follow on doing that. So thanks for joining me this afternoon. It's been nice to have your company with me, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye.